When my daughter showed up asking for money, I didn't know it was the start of losing everything. It was a gray Saturday morning, the kind where even the birds seemed too tired to sing. I was fixing the porch light when I saw a car pull into the driveway. For a second, I thought I was imagining things. Then she stepped out. Isabel, my daughter. Her hair was shorter, her clothes more polished than I remembered, but her posture, shoulders tense, chin high, was exactly like her mother's. She removed her sunglasses, smiled stiffly, and said, "Hey, Dad." I hadn't seen her in almost a year. "Hi, Izzy," I said carefully. "This is a surprise." She shrugged, glancing past me at the house. "Yeah, been busy." We stood there in awkward silence until I gestured toward the door. "Come in." The moment she stepped inside, the faint scent of lavender candles, her mother's favorite, filled the air. I never stopped buying them, though I hadn't lit one in months. Izzy looked around, her expression unreadable, then sat at the kitchen table. I poured coffee. For a few minutes, we exchanged polite words about the weather, work, the traffic from her city. Then she took a breath, steadying herself. "Dad, I need your help." I nodded. "Of course. What's wrong?" Her eyes flicked up to mine. "I need money." The word hit like a slap. I put down my cup. "How much?" She hesitated, then said, "320,000. My first instinct was to laugh, but her expression told me she was dead serious. "$320,000? I repeated, making sure I'd heard correctly. "Yes, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important." "Then tell me why you need it," I said. She shook her head. "It's complicated. Izzy, that's a house worth of money. I deserve to know." Her eyes flashed with irritation. "You don't trust me. I'm your father. Of course I trust you. But that's everything I've saved for retirement, for emergencies. I just want to understand what's happening." She sighed, ran a hand through her hair, and muttered, "You never trust me. You never did. You only trust yourself and your work." I froze. It wasn't the first time she'd thrown that at me, but this time it stung deeper. "That's not true, Izzy." "Yes, it is." Her voice broke slightly. "After Mom died, you buried yourself in work. You were never there. I was trying to hold everything together." "For who?" she snapped. "You didn't even notice I was falling apart." The silence after that was suffocating. I wanted to tell her she was wrong, but she wasn't. Finally, I said softly, "I can't give you that kind of money. Not without knowing why." She stood abruptly, eyes glossy with anger. "You'll regret this." Then she was gone. The echo of the door closing was louder than any argument we ever had. That night, I wandered the house like a ghost. Her childhood drawings still hung on the hallway wall. The piano her mother used to play sat untouched. Every corner of the house whispered their names. Isabel, Margaret, two people I'd failed in different ways. I barely slept. By morning, I told myself she'd call, explain, maybe even apologize. Instead, someone rang the doorbell. A courier stood there holding a thick envelope. "Mr. Alan Pierce?" "Yes." "Legal delivery? Please sign here." I took it, puzzled, and tore it open as soon as he left. The first line made my heart stop. Notice of property repossession. It said I had 30 days to vacate the property, my own home. The house was under the ownership of Isabel Pierce. I called the number listed on the document, my voice trembling. "There must be a mistake," I told the woman who answered. She replied calmly, "No mistake, sir. The property was transferred to your daughter 5 years ago by your late wife, Margaret Pierce." I remembered that conversation like a half-forgotten dream. Margaret had been ill back then. She said it was safer to put the house under Izzy's name, just in case. I trusted her, like I always did. Now I stood in the kitchen, staring at the paperwork, my coffee growing cold. I tried calling Izzy, straight to voicemail, texted, no answer. I sent an email. "There's some kind of misunderstanding. Please call me." Nothing. By evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I looked up the address from the letter's return label, grabbed my keys, and drove into the city. Her neighborhood was clean and expensive, the kind of place where cars gleamed and every lawn looked identical. I parked across the street and waited. When she finally appeared, dressed sharply in a blazer, I got out of the car. "Izzy!" She stopped, startled. "Dad, what are you doing here?" "I came to talk," she sighed. "You shouldn't have come." "I shouldn't have to," I said, walking toward her. "You sent me an eviction notice." Her eyes flicked away. "It's not what you think." "Then explain it to me." She looked tired, older somehow. "The house belongs to me legally. Mom transferred it to me before she passed. You know that." "But why now, Izzy? Why kick me out?" She hesitated, then said quietly, "Because I need the money. The house is worth over $300,000. Selling it would solve everything." My stomach dropped. "You're selling the house?" She nodded slowly. "Why do you need that much?" She hesitated for a fraction of a second before saying, "It's for someone who helped me when no one else did." "Who?" "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," I said sharply. "You're asking me to lose the home I built for your mother. For you." She folded her arms. "You built it for yourself, Dad. You just let us live there." That one hurt more than I expected. She kept talking, voice trembling slightly. "After Mom died, I had no one. You worked, you slept, you existed, that's it. Then I met someone who made me feel seen again. He's been through a lot, and I can help him now. I have to." I swallowed hard. "Do you need money for him?" Her expression flickered. Guilt, maybe, but she didn't answer. "Izzy," I said softly, "whoever this man is, if he really loves you, he won't let you destroy everything for him." Her jaw tightened. "You don't know him." "Then tell me about him." She stepped back. "There's nothing to tell, and you wouldn't understand anyway." "I'm trying to," I said, my voice breaking. "I'm trying, Izzy. I know I wasn't there enough. I can't fix the past, but I'm here now." She looked at me for a long moment, and for the briefest second, I thought she might come closer, might forgive me. But then she turned away. "Take care of yourself, Dad." "Please, Izzy, don't do this." But she was already walking down the street. I watched her until she disappeared into the blur of the city, headlights washing over her, like ghosts of a life I no longer recognized. When I finally drove home that night, I felt like I was moving through someone else's story. I sat in the living room staring at the old family photo. The three of us at the lake, Margaret's arm around Izzy, sunlight caught in their smiles. Back then, I thought working harder meant protecting them, providing meant loving. But I was wrong. I whispered to no one, "What have I done to my daughter?" The house creaked with the night wind. Shadows stretched across the walls. Every sound reminded me that soon, none of this would be mine. I didn't know what hurt more, losing the house or realizing I'd already lost her. I didn't sleep the night after seeing Izzy. Every sound in the house made me flinch. The ticking clock, the refrigerator humming, the wind scratching at the window. It was as if the house itself knew it was about to be taken away. By morning, I'd made up my mind. If I couldn't reach Izzy through reason, I'd have to find out what was really going on. That's when I called Ray Carter. Ray and I had known each other for years. Back when I was still working at the shipping company, he was a police officer doing security work for us. He retired early, started doing private investigation jobs. A tough man with a soft heart, the kind of guy who never asked questions he didn't want answers to. He answered on the second ring. "Alan Pierce," he said, surprised. "Haven't heard that name in a while." "Yeah," I sighed. "I wish I was calling for better reasons." I told him everything. The house, the eviction, Izzy showing up asking for money, and the mysterious man she wouldn't name. When I mentioned she needed $320,000, Ray whistled softly. "That's not a favor, Alan. That's a ransom." He agreed to help. "Give me a week," he said. "I'll see what I can dig up." In the meantime, I couldn't bring myself to pack. Every time I tried, I'd end up sitting on the floor with an old photo album or Margaret's books, remembering how alive this house once was. Instead of packing, I came up with a plan. Or maybe it was just an act of denial. I started pretending to be sick. It began with a few complaints to the neighbors. "Just feeling weak lately. Doctor says it's my heart." I thought maybe if Izzy heard I wasn't well, she'd slow down her plans to sell the place. When the realtor came by to take photos, I greeted her in my robe, coughing into a tissue. "Sorry," I said, "bad heart. Doctor says not to overexert myself." She smiled politely, but I saw the discomfort in her eyes. Maybe it was working. Still, nights were the hardest. I'd walk from room to room in the dark, imagining the day I'd have to walk out for the last time. The kitchen, the stairs, the front door, all part of my life story, all about to belong to someone else. And every time I thought of Izzy, anger and guilt tangled inside me. I wasn't just losing a house, I was losing my daughter to someone I didn't even know. A few days later, Ray called. "I found him," he said. "Mike Ward, or at least the man using that name." He told me Mike had made headlines a few months ago, a young crypto entrepreneur, all charm and confidence, running flashy events and promising enormous returns. He had investors, social media followers, photos of yachts and champagne. But underneath it all, Ray said, the guy's a walking red flag. Apparently, Mike's company collapsed recently after he lost millions of dollars in investor funds. He blamed a hack. Others called it a scam. Lawsuits were piling up. Ray's voice grew lower. "Alan, I think your daughter's caught in his mess. My guess? She's trying to bail him out." My stomach turned. Suddenly, the $320,000 made sense. I gripped the phone tighter. "Can you prove it?" "I can try," Ray said. "Give me a couple of days. If there's dirt, I'll find it." Those days felt like an eternity. I barely ate, barely slept. Izzy stopped responding to my calls altogether. One afternoon, I saw two strangers standing on the sidewalk pointing at my house and taking photos. Probably buyers. I went outside, pretending to clutch my chest, forcing a wheeze. "Can I help you?" I asked weakly. They exchanged a glance. "Oh, sorry, sir. We're just with the realtor." "Ah," I said, voice trembling. "The realtor." They left quickly. I went back inside and sat at the dining table, laughing bitterly. "Oscar-worthy performance, Alan," I muttered. But deep down, I wasn't laughing. I'd never felt so powerless. 3 days later, Ray called again. His tone was sharper this time. "Alan, I've got more." He told me Mike Ward wasn't even his real name. His full name was Michael Warden, and he had a record. 2 previous fraud cases that somehow never led to conviction. He'd been using fake companies, false investor lists, everything. "Your daughter's involved with a con artist," Ray said, "and not a small one." I felt the blood drain from my face. Does she know? Hard to say. Maybe she's in denial. Maybe she thinks she's helping him get back on his feet. I leaned against the wall, staring at the framed picture of Margaret in the hallway. She wouldn't listen to me before. Why would she now? Ray paused. "Send her the proof. Maybe seeing it on paper will wake her up." So that night I printed every file Ray sent. Articles, screenshots, financial documents, even a mugshot from years ago. I put everything in an envelope and mailed it to Izzy's apartment. No name, no return address, just the truth. When I dropped it into the mailbox, my hands were shaking. I thought, maybe this will save her. But 2 days passed, then 3. No call, no message. Instead, I got another visit, this time from the police. 2 officers stood at my door, hats in hand. "Mr. Pierce?" one of them asked. "We're here regarding a property handover scheduled for today." I blinked. Today? No, I was told I had 30 days. That was 3 weeks ago, sir. You've had an extension already. My heart pounded. I'm not leaving. Not until I speak to my daughter. "Sir, no!" I shouted louder than I meant to. "This is my house, my family's house." One officer sighed. "Please calm down, Mr. Pierce." "I'll calm down when someone explains why I'm being kicked out of my home, because my daughter fell for a thief." The words slipped out before I could stop them. The younger officer exchanged a look with his partner. "Sir, if you don't comply, we'll have to escort you." When they grabbed my arm, I struggled, maybe harder than I should have. And then through the open doorway, I saw a black car parked by the curb. In the passenger seat, Izzy. Next to her, him, Mike Ward. My throat closed. I yelled, "And after all that information, you still choose him? I didn't raise you to be a criminal." Izzy turned her head away, staring straight ahead, blank, like she didn't even understand what I meant. The officers pushed me gently toward the car, and I stopped fighting. My heart felt hollow. As they drove me away, I looked out the window, watching the only home I'd ever built grow smaller behind me. It's strange how fast you can go from being a homeowner to a tenant, from someone with a past to someone just trying to exist. 3 months have passed since I left the house that wasn't mine anymore. Now I rent a small apartment on the edge of town. Second floor, creaky stairs, the kind of place that smells faintly of old paint and someone else's cooking. The view from my window is a gas station and a bus stop. Every morning, I sit by that window with my coffee and pretend I'm watching the sunrise over my old backyard. The landlord's nice enough, calls me Mr. P. The neighbors mostly keep to themselves. No one knows I used to have a life full of rooms, laughter, family photos. Here I'm just another man with boxes that never got fully unpacked. I've tried calling Izzy more times than I can count. The line always goes straight to voicemail. "Hi, it's Dad. Call me when you can." Sometimes I add, "I'm not mad. I just want to know you're okay." But there's never an answer. After a while, I stopped leaving messages. It felt like talking into a void. Ray Carter still checks in sometimes. He's the only one who talks to me like I haven't vanished. Last week, he said, "I think she and that guy left town. The house was sold to a shell company. Cash deal. No paper trail." "So they got the money?" I asked. "Looks like it. Around 300 grand, give or take." And then? Nothing. No records, no bank activity, no addresses. They're ghosts. Ghosts. That's what my life feels like now. Haunted by people who are still alive. I try to keep busy. I volunteer a few days a week at the local library. It's quiet there, and the smell of old books reminds me of Margaret. She loved libraries. Izzy, too, when she was small. She'd sit between the shelves with a pile of picture books, completely lost in them. Sometimes I still see her that way in my head, a child with paint on her fingers and sunlight in her hair. Not the woman who sold our home to help a man I've never met. I walk a lot too, past the lake, past the bakery where we used to buy muffins on Sundays. The owner still recognizes me. He always says, "Haven't seen your daughter in a while." And I just smile and nod, pretending she's busy with work. It's easier than explaining the truth. At night, when the city gets quiet, the regret starts creeping in. I think about all the years I spent working late, missing dinners, telling myself I was doing it for them, for Izzy's future. And then I lost that future. I keep the last family photo we ever took on the nightstand. Margaret in her blue dress, Izzy in her college sweatshirt, and me with my arm around them both. Margaret's eyes looked tired even then, but happy. She told me, "Don't let work steal your time with her, Alan. Promise me." I did promise, and I broke it. One evening, after another long day of pretending to live, I sat down at my desk and started writing a letter to Izzy. "Izzy, I don't know where you are or if you'll ever read this. I just want you to know I'm not angry anymore. I forgive you. I hope you're safe. I hope he treats you well. And if he doesn't, come home. I don't have the house anymore, but I still have a place for you. Love, Dad." I folded it, left it on the nightstand beside the photo. I didn't even have an address to send it to, but it felt like I had to say it out loud somehow. After that, I turned off the lights and tried to sleep. It was raining outside, soft and steady, the kind of rain that makes everything sound like memory. I must have dozed off because the next thing I remember is a sound. 3 slow knocks on the door. I glanced at the clock. 11:47 p.m. My first thought was the landlord or a neighbor, maybe someone locked out. But something in my chest told me otherwise. I opened the door, and there she was, Izzy. Her hair was longer, tangled, her clothes wrinkled, her eyes swollen like she hadn't slept in days. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she whispered, "Hi, Dad." I didn't say anything. I just pulled her into my arms. She started crying the second I did. Big, shaking sobs that soaked through my shirt. I held her tighter. "It's okay," I whispered. "You're here. That's all that matters." She pulled back just enough to look at me. "I'm sorry," she said. "I let you down. I didn't know where else to go." I guided her inside, sat her on the couch. She looked smaller somehow, like the weight of everything had crushed the fire she used to have. After a long silence, I asked, "What happened?" She wiped her eyes. "He's gone." "Mike?" She nodded. "We sold the house. He said it would solve everything, that once the money came in, we'd start fresh. For a few weeks, it felt real. We rented a place by the coast, ate at restaurants, talked about a new life. I thought I'd done the right thing." Her voice cracked. "Then one morning, he was just gone. His clothes, his phone, the money, everything. The only thing he left was a note." She took a crumpled piece of paper from her jacket pocket and handed it to me. It read, "It was fun. Thanks for the money." I stared at the words until they blurred. "You tried to find him?" "I did. I went to the police, but they said I was an accomplice, not a victim. He'd used my name on some of the accounts. Then I remembered the papers you sent me, the ones about him." "So you saw them?" I asked. She nodded. "Not at first. I was too angry. I thought you were trying to control me again. But after he left, I opened the envelope. You were right about everything." She started crying again. "I'm so sorry, Dad. I just wanted someone to love me. After Mom died, I felt empty. Mike said all the right things, made me feel seen. And I believed him." I reached out and took her hand. "You don't have to explain. I should have been there. I wasn't." She shook her head. "You were busy keeping us alive. I just wish I'd understood that sooner." We sat there in silence for a while, just breathing, just existing. Finally, she said quietly, "I want to start over. I'll find a job, save up, buy you a new house one day." I smiled weakly. "I don't need a house, Izzy. I just need you." She leaned against my shoulder, whispering, "Then you have me." It's been a few months since Izzy came back. The apartment feels smaller now, but warmer. There's always music playing, coffee brewing, laughter sneaking back into the corners that once held silence. Izzy got a job at a local cafe. She wakes up early, makes breakfast for both of us, and leaves little notes on the counter. "Have a good day, Dad." Sometimes I still catch her staring out the window like she's waiting for something. I know she's thinking about him, about the house, about everything she lost. We talk about it sometimes. Not to blame, just to understand. She told me once, "I thought love was something you buy or chase, but it's just someone who stays." I told her, then we both learned it the hard way. We don't have much now, 2 chairs, 1 table and each other. But somehow, it feels enough. On Sundays, we visit the lake, the same one where Margaret used to take us. Izzy brings flowers. I bring her mother's favorite candle. We sit by the water in silence. It hurts, but it's the kind of pain that feels honest, the kind that heals. Sometimes I still dream of the old house, the porch light, the sound of footsteps on the stairs. But I don't wake up angry anymore, because I understand now. A house is just a building. A home is the moment someone you thought was gone comes back. And after everything, I didn't lose my daughter. I got her back, and that's more than enough.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and explore our channel for more love, betrayal, and redemption tales.